Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. Well, what do we have here? Let's see. The January 6th committee has destroyed hundreds of thousands of files. Let me repeat that. The January 6th committee has destroyed hundreds of thousands of files, affidavits, video interviews, the works. All of these are supposed to go into the National Archive automatically because they're digital. But yet almost half mysteriously got deleted with no rhyme, reason, or explanation. Isn't that interesting? Now that President Trump gets his subpoena records, based on the trial of things they're accusing him of, considering January 6th and the so-called insurrection, all of a sudden these files just disappear. When are people going to wake up? This is not about Donald Trump. This is about the abuse of power. Let's listen to the story here, and I'll make comments along the way.
The January 6th committee has just been caught cold, orchestrating a massive illegal cover-up.
Are you stupid or something?
Trump is headed for trial next year for January 6th related charges, and he's going to have subpoena power, which gives him the right to access critical documents and videos pertaining to the time period. That means the January 6th committee, whose two-year investigation produced thousands and thousands of documents, transcript, and hours of deposition videos, the good, the bad, and the ugly, will be legally required to turn over whatever materials Trump requests. And as you know, Primetime does not believe in coincidences. Yesterday, we uncovered the January 6th committee has destroyed almost 50% of their evidence.
Stop it. Get some help.
The Democrat-run January 6th committee is missing 1.5 terabytes of data.
Whoops, there it goes. Yep, my brain stopped.
This is an enormous amount of material.
And you computer people out there know what that means. Terabytes of material. 1.5 terabytes is a huge file. I mean gigantic. My entire computer with all my videos that I've archived, and God knows how many memes that I've done in pictures on my community tab, my thumbnails, movies that I have on here, doesn't even equal 1.5 terabytes on my entire computer. How many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of files that were supposed to go to the National Archives all of a sudden just mysteriously disappeared? When are people going to realize this is not about Donald Trump?
Records of the Capitol Hill security failures, video of Trump cabinet depositions, emails, text messages, gone. And who knows what else they deleted. Remember, the January 6th committee only aired and only reported what Democrats wanted you to know about January 6th. Anything they didn't want you to know about the 6th wasn't made public, and it looks like it was destroyed. We might never get to the bottom of January 6th because the January 6th committee destroyed their evidence. This has never happened before in Congress. The Benghazi committee, the 9/11 committees, all of that evidence is warehoused. None of it was deleted. Now, once the congressional investigation's completed, all of the information's transferred to the archives.
Yeah, listen, all the information is transferred to the archives. Isn't that fascinating? But almost 50% of it isn't. Why aren't these people in jail? This is a felony, plain and simple. You didn't push a delete button by accident and get rid of 1.5 terabytes worth of information. Videos, digital letters, emails, everything. Everything they had. And I'm sure they beat the bushes looking for every little thing. And, of course, they only showed what they wanted the public to see. And those who did say, well, there were 2 Republicans on there, too. That was a joke. That was just for show. Normally, when there's a committee like this formed, the minority party, in this case, then the Republicans, get to pick which committee members they want as a rule. And they weren't entitled to pick any. Jim Jordan was supposed to be on it. They don't want him on there. So they picked Cheney, and I forgot the other clown's name already, from Illinois. Yep, those are the two they picked. They've committed felonies. But here's the thing. What's that saying? Everybody's guilty, so nobody's to blame? It's amazing to me. It's amazing why none of these people haven't been indicted. Let's listen on.
Sources tell Primetime that losing or destroying committee evidence is not at all common practice. And it's also a crime to destroy congressional documents. It's a felony. That means the January 6th committee, if Trump wins this election, could be charged with felonies for destroying congressional materials. Now, for 2 years, Democrats have conveyed to us they only care about two things: preserving documents and January 6th.
Yeah, preserving documents in January 6th has been their mantra call since January 6th. They don't want evidence getting out. Maybe they found out some things that they knew were true, but they don't want them out. It has to be bad. 1.5 terabytes worth of information is not somebody pushing a delete button by accident. This is done purposely. Now, I'm sure it wasn't done by a congressional member. I'm sure a lot of these people have the ultra-progressive leftist staff that did it with the help, I'm sure, and I have no doubt, of congressional lawyers. Have no doubt. Why aren't these people disbarred? Nobody knows. Just like the leak out of the Supreme Court on Roe v. Wade decision got leaked out. People have a good idea, but nobody really knows. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating? To get rid of 1.5 terabytes worth of information couldn't have been one person. Probably dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, because they knew exactly when the so-called indictment was coming down against former President Trump concerning January 6th. How long ago were these documents and these digital documents in video interviews and everything else in emails, text messages, the works? When were they disposed of? Because it wasn't an accident. Maybe it was over the course of time. Who knows? But there's a trail of it somewhere. I have absolutely no doubt that there's a backup for this information somewhere. The problem is you just can't find it. Let's listen to the rest of the article.
So why would they destroy January 6 documents? And why do Democrats continue to get away with destroying evidence? Hillary acid washes emails and takes hammers to iPhones. Obama's IRS accidentally erased records. And in a vicious legal twist, Biden's prosecutor, J6th, cracked into Donald Trump's Twitter account. Smith got a search warrant from Obama-Biden D.C. judges, and Elon Musk handed over Trump's Twitter account. And no one told Trump. It was all done in the dark. Former president had this to say: "Just found out that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ secretly attacked my Twitter account, making it a point not to let me know about this major hit on my civil rights. My political opponent is going crazy trying to infringe on my campaign for president. Nothing like this has ever happened before." Does the First Amendment still exist? Did deranged J6th tell the unselects to destroy and delete all evidence? These are dark days in America.
And just because these words are coming from Donald Trump doesn't mean that they're not accurate or showing what's happening and going to be worse in the future. This stuff always gets worse before it gets better. For those of you that hate Donald Trump's guts, think about this for a minute. Just think about this. One of these days, at least a good portion of the Republican Party is going to grow a set of balls. And they're going to be really, really pissed off. And they're going to start doing the exact same things that Democrats are doing now. Things like this. But the gun's going to be turned on the Democrats. Make no mistake about it. It's going to happen eventually. And I don't want to hear the people screaming and howling, even though they will. All the felonies that were done, all the things done to get rid of Donald Trump as a candidate for president. One, they know they can't beat him. They can't. It's like the gang that couldn't shoot straight, the Democrats. They shot themselves in the foot at every given opportunity. I just don't get, anybody can be that inept at such a large scale. I'll leave you younger people with this thought. I'm old enough to remember Watergate. I was a junior, almost a senior in high school when that happened. Watergate was all about, the number one thing Watergate was about was the Republicans doing dirty tricks. They used to call it rat effing back then. That way they destroy the candidates that are running for president, and that way they could get to choose which candidate was the Democrat to run against Nixon in 72. This is exactly the same. The Democrats are picking their opponent. They're picking the people that are running for president of the Republican Party. It is no different than Watergate. And if you remember Watergate, the FBI, the CIA, all the intelligence services were also involved. But this is that times 100. Times 100. Think about that, folks, when you go to vote. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and definitely good luck.